For many people who have caused unintentional harm, this video can feel uncomfortable before it even begins, because taking care of yourself can feel wrong, inappropriate, selfish. You may hear an inner voice that says, after what happened, I don't get to focus on myself. And if that voice is familiar, I want to start by naming something gently but clearly. Neglecting yourself is not a form of accountability. It's a form of additional harm. After unintentional harm, many people quietly decide that care is no longer for them, that rest is a luxury that they have forfeited, that attention should always go elsewhere. So they survive instead of live. They function, they fulfill obligations, they do what needs to be done, but they stop tending to themselves as somebody who's worthy of care. This video exists because that pattern is common and understandable and terribly, terribly dangerous. Trauma does not heal in the absence of care. It deepens. Self-care in this context is not indulgence. It's stabilization. It is repair. It's responsibility. And it begins with permission. You know, many people believe that caring for themselves means minimizing what happened. But it doesn't. You can take your pain seriously, and you can take yourself seriously at the same time. One does not cancel out the other. So let's start with the body, because trauma always lives there first. After an accident, especially one involving harm to another person, the body often remains in a state of vigilance long after the danger has passed. Your nervous system may be stuck on high alert. You may have trouble sleeping. You may have trouble concentrating. You may have trouble relaxing, at least relaxing without guilt. Your body may feel tense, jumpy, or exhausted, or numb, and try to shut down. Now, these are not character flaws. These are signs of a nervous system that has been overwhelmed. One of the most foundational acts of care is learning how to help your body come back into regulation. That does not require spiritual insight or emotional breakthroughs. It requires consistency. Eating regular meals even when you don't feel hungry. Drinking water. Sleeping when you can. Moving your body gently, not as punishment, but as grounding. These things may feel basic, but they're not. They're acts of repair. Another essential part of caring for yourself is boundaries. After unintentional harm, boundaries often collapse. You may feel obligated to explain yourself constantly, to accept scrutiny, to tolerate conversations or situations that re-traumatize you. Or you may go the opposite direction and isolate completely. Both responses, they're understandable, but neither is sustainable. Boundaries are not walls. They are structures that allow life to continue. You are allowed to decide who gets access to your story. You're allowed to say, I can't talk about this right now. You are allowed to leave situations that overwhelm you. Setting boundaries does not mean you're hiding. It means you're protecting what is still tender. Another critical area of care is support. Trauma convinces many people that they should handle this all by themselves. You may believe that asking for help burdens other people, that your pain is less legitimate than somebody else's, that you no longer deserve attention. These beliefs are common, and they are lies that trauma tells us. Healing requires witnesses, people who can hear your story without flinching, who can sit with complexity without rushing to fix it, people who can remind you who you are when shame distorts everything. For many people, this kind of support comes through therapy. Now, therapy is not an admission of failure. It's a recognition of scale. Yeah, unintentional harm is too large to carry alone. A skilled therapist can help you understand trauma responses, regulate your nervous system, and untangle guilt from identity. They can help you hold responsibility without collapsing into self-hatred. Support may also come through carefully cultivated friends, partners, or groups. The key is discernment. Not everyone deserves access to your pain. Not everyone knows how to handle it. Choose people who are steady, who can tolerate silence, who don't rush toward resolution. Another aspect of self-care is language. The way you talk to yourself matters. Many people who have caused unintentional harm develop an inner voice that is relentlessly punishing. You should have known better. You don't deserve this. This is who you really are. That voice may feel like accountability, but it's not. It is internalized violence. Part of caring for yourself involves learning to interrupt that voice, not by arguing with it endlessly, but by noticing it, naming it, asking whether it actually leads towards repair or simply toward destruction. Accountability leads to responsibility, learning, and care. Shame leads to paralysis. Another essential practice is rest. Rest can feel threatening. If I rest, am I forgetting? If I rest, am I disrespecting the dead? If I rest, am I letting myself off the hook? Rest is not forgetting. Rest is not excusing or erasing. Rest is what allows you to keep going. Chronic exhaustion does not make you more moral. It makes you brittle. Rest allows your nervous system to recover. It allows perspective to return. It allows emotions to move rather than stagnate. Another important dimension of self-care is structure. After trauma, time can feel amorphous. Days blur, motivation disappears. Structure is not rigidity. It is scaffolding, regular routines, predictable rhythms, simple anchors in the day. These provide a sense of safety when everything else feels uncertain. Yeah, structure says some things are still reliable. And one of the hardest aspects of caring for yourself is confronting the belief that you no longer deserve a future. Many people quietly decide that their life peaked before the accident, that anything good now would be inappropriate. This belief is rarely spoken out loud, but it shapes decisions. It shrinks possibility. It limits hope. It keeps people emotionally suspended. Caring for yourself includes challenging this belief, not by forcing optimism, no, but by allowing the possibility that your life is not over, that you are allowed to grow, to love, to find meaning again, not because what happened didn't matter, but because you still matter. The city of refuge, which we talked about in a previous video, was not meant to be a prison. It was a place to live, a place where the one who caused unintentional harm could survive without being destroyed. Taking care of yourself is how you build that refuge now. It is how you refuse to let trauma claim your entire future. And this kind of care is not selfish. It is ethical. A person who is regulated, supported, and cared for is less likely to cause further harm. Caring for yourself is part of caring for the world. In the next video, we're going to talk about caring for others who have caused unintentional harm, about how families and friends and communities can respond in ways that heal rather than wound. But for now, let this be enough. If caring for yourself feels difficult, you are not broken. If you feel undeserving of care, you're not alone. If you're still trying, that matters. You are allowed to survive this. You are allowed to be human. You are allowed to take care of yourself. And we'll keep going together.